What's up, guys? This is Mark, and welcome to your March devlog for Century of Steam. We recognize that it is definitely March, probably 33rd or 34th at this point. It's fine, but we hope you think that this vlog is worth the wait. We certainly know it has been because it's been so much fun to put together. We've got a lot of running to do and so much to talk about ahead of us that, we better take a look at that. Wow, that didn't even make my list. Yeah. The list of things we've made and changed in the past couple months is so great that I forgot even some of the most basic things, like, the point switches. Anyway, I'm going to go hop in and get our locomotive ready for the day. We're here on Keystone, which has received quite the glow up today. Including the wonderful 4-square house model made by Wings and Strings, as well as Antimatter. The pair of them together, putting together objectively too many combinations of these for background assets, but, that's just the way that we are, I guess, so.
Credit where it's due. Maddie made the base structure. I just did the implementation and some customization on top of what was already there. As a result, in classic COS fashion, you can make 40,000 unique American 4-square homes before paint is considered.
Just it casually, as you do. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, we're here on Keystone today, and we've got quite the fun run. We're going to run from Keystone itself to Shady Grove, 6 miles off in the distance somewhere over there'sville. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to pick up some stuff and set out some stuff along the way. But we need to get our 1024E Baldwin locomotive. We need to get her all ready to rock here. So it's been great to see this locomotive come back into the fold. We showed it off about a year ago. It was one of the first engines that we ever... Shut up, you. Quit it. Quit it. There's going to be a lot of arguing between me and a locomotive today during the devlog. I've added a lot more sim things, and things have just gotten that much more annoying. But anyways, it was one of the first locomotives we ever implemented in the game, and it needed some updates, and huge thanks to Daniel Gallery for going through the work to make it updated, and it behaves a lot better, and it's got all the things that it was missing from early implementation. So anyway, we're gonna get her out of the shop here, and first things first, I can see that we're a little bit low on coal, so we're gonna pull up to the coal stage here, and we're gonna get her all filled up and ready to rock for the day, because we've got, again, 6 miles out, 6 miles back. It's gonna be a bit of a run. So we're going to pull up here, and we're going to fill things up. And this is, again, a new structure by Tom as well. The amount of new structures and new things that have come on in the past couple months are considerably amazing, honestly. So, get this to shut up real fast. There we go. So when you look at a facility, any industry, and you press I, it pulls up our facility inventory. So we can take a look and we see, hey, there's 22 tons of coal in here, and right now it's got 15.4. We could buy more coal, just spend the money, do the thing, get more coal. If you're out of coal as a company, that's probably the option you'd use. And you can see that our Juniata and Shady Grove number 9's tender is spotted right now. We can click Fill Coal. And you can hear the sounds of some folks shoveling, and it says, hey, we're loading things up. And after a couple seconds, the tender loads up, and now we can take a look at the tender itself. Here's our clipboard for a car inspector UI. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about here. We're going to be showing off a little bit more of this as we go, of course. But we, again, got the JNSG number 9. It's our 1024E. It's the tender. And it's currently filled with 6,000 pounds of coal, 100% volume, and 475.5 gallons of water, 23.8%, which we'll worry about the water later. Details. Yes, There is a water tank across the yard over there, but I don't want to deal with it. So, we're just gonna play around and see what happens. It's not like our water's low as it sits or anything. Anyway, speaking of, let me get my injector primed and running here. And we're going to go get this thing over towards the Yardley, because we got a lot of stuff to pick up in the yard here at Keystone today. And one thing that has happened to me almost every time we've tested this is that I run through one of the switches here, and so I'm just going to avoid that by pressing one key. And the grade crossing whistle just happens without me having to do anything, which means I could fly and line the switch. Which again, almost every time we tested this, if I blew the grade crossing myself, I ran through the switch and then went in the dirt, because we're going to talk a little bit more about switches and difficulties and all of that sort of stuff down the road. But we have point switches now, rotary switch stands, another model made by Daniel Gallery that's absolutely fantastic, with variable targets. It's a whole lot of fun madness, but there's going to be difficulty options abound there, and for sure, if you want to be able to run through a switch and not have a penalty, that'll definitely be an option that's on the table. It's just not one that's quite ready yet. So it's handy to have the canned whistle sounds, and we make the choo-choo make the sounds as we go through and do everything else, because it's quite a lot to focus on: presenting, firing, running, and dealing with industries all at the same time. Speaking of, you can see we've got a pair of boxcars that we're coming up on here, one of which looks a little worse for wear. And the day shift crew that set it out there, they set it out there for a reason. So, we're gonna deal with that real fast here, and it's gonna be another big fun point to show off with that car inspector UI we talked about. Gadunk. Let's take a quick look at the fire. We're at 125. We're making a lot more steam than we're using. I'm gonna get the gun running while we sit here. It's probably a good idea. Anyway, take a look. We've got our boxcar. Look at it. It's got nothing going on inside of it. We see the potential origin, destination of things, all the different articles, what their weight, their volume, and any modifiers to them, and then how much money we're going to get from them, or lose for doing things to them. The car's condition. When it was last overhauled, we can send it to the shops by clicking the button there, which costs some money, but, if you yeet the car off the track that far, might be a good shout. And we can take a look at things and see, it currently corresponds with our ICC regulations, which may or may not affect your totals and your company as a whole here. But you'll see that this car is empty and this car is ruined. So this car has dynamite that's supposed to go to the Keystone Coal Mine and black powder. Keystone Coal Mine, they're explosive and they tell you that. And we want to deliver those things still. So you click transfer cargo, UI comes up, blue flag it, note the crew's at work, it's going to take a couple seconds. We transload the cargo from this car to this car. So all that dynamite's moved over, that's great. We want to bring the black powder as well. It's quite important. Bring all the fun explodey boys, and then as a fun option as well, depending on what you did to the car, how things have gone, you can also just drop the cargo out, call it a day, and then you send the car to the shop, and there she goes. She's disappeared, teleported to the nearest car shop where it'll actually be dealt with, because that definitely needed some work. That was clamped out by day shift. I swear it wasn't me. It's fine. Anyway, we'll tie the air in there, and we'll get this thing moved up, and we'll pick up our next load here. Easy now.
A couple points on that. Number one, we wanted the ability to transfer cargo from car to car, just in case, say, you get a hot box or a bad order or something happens with the car. You don't want to lose the cargo inside of it, so if you pull another car up to it, you can set the bad order out, take care of it later, but keep on going, make your money. And another important thing to look at is you'll see that there's up to 4 slots for cargo in each car. So that means that we have potential for less than carload lot freight, which will give you a lot of flexibility, especially with smaller deliveries, or say if it's the Great Depression and there's not much to haul, period, you can use your train very efficiently that way.
Exactly. You can have up to 4 different cargoes within each car, different types, and it will look at the volumes and it'll look at the weights and make sure that everything is compatible. But you can utilize a boxcar in a way that boxcars really quite often were utilized, just like this boxcar that we're pulling right now, or I guess pushing rather, but either way, it's got dynamite and black powder in it. It's not just one commodity. It's not full of one thing all the way to the brim, and even then, by volume, it's not full to the brim. But you'll find that by weight, a lot of the cars will cap out first. You can see that our total capacity for this car is 28,000 pounds, and we've not really put anything in it. So, had we had something quite heavier, that would have added up. This bad example for a car, but you will run out of weight space in many cases before you run out of volume space, and all of that's simulated and all of that's built into the UI. So it's genuinely fantastic because you can do a ton of cool things within the game because of that.
Yep, and that means you have a lot of decisions to make as someone assembling trains and loading them. Like, obviously you can't exceed volume, but you can exceed the weight on a car. And that, you can still transport it, but do you want to take that risk of damaging it?
Right, you're at greater risk of damaging the cargo as well as the car itself. So you can play those games. You can do a little bit more, and maybe it pays out, maybe it doesn't. And Lord knows that's half the fun in these things, is getting to try out all the different things. So. Alright, well, we're going to get past the lead switch here, which we've denoted with the dual target sign. Again, the targets are customizable on these switch stands, and the rest of the switches in the yard we haven't set up in any particular way. So they're all just a red target, just a simple, plain, easy thing, like diverging or not. So you can obviously tell this one's line diverging, and again, here we are. Point switch, line divergent, we're going to bring it back. We got to bang into these refrigerator cars, the couple tank cars back there, and then the caboose, which the eagle-eyed will have seen in a couple different vlogs before, but the eagle-eyed will also notice that I didn't throw the lead switch.
Didn't want to tell you. It's funnier if you just go through.
Well, thanks for that, boss. Much appreciated.
I'm here to help. You should also hit tab. That's the end of my notes.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. There's also a really cool UI that Tristan came up with that can live up in the upper right. And God, my fire is already dead. It's fine. Shut up. That low bass you're hearing, particularly if you have a subwoofer, something that coal burners do when there's an imbalance in the fire. That was an added bit of fun sim very recently, actually. Towards the end of our development here, obviously, we understand that it's March 32nd or 33rd.
I think the 34th by this point.
Probably the 34th. It's fine. Details. As of recording, yeah, I guess it is probably the 34th. That's all right. It was one of the things to add while everyone was adding in the rest of what they did. This month's vlog has been such a coalition of different team members coming together and everyone really just putting things down and getting the work done, and it's been fantastic, and I'm genuinely the most proud I have been of this team developing this game the entire time, really, right now with everything that we've been doing. So took the village, but we're here, and yes, it's a little bit on the late side, but again, we've got a lot of cool stuff to show still. So we're going to bang into all these refrigerator cars, the couple tank cars there, and then afterwards we're going to take a look at our caboose there, which it's just quite a bit of fun. So let's hopefully
and also this special load here on the flat, the Model B Ford.
Model B Ford is quite fun. special loads and specifically certain scenarios that you'll get to play through are going to be a thing. We talked a little bit about how that was going to work in last month's vlog, which recently came out for the general public. Again, of course, if you support us on Patreon, these things come out the calendar month before-ish than they do for the public out on YouTube, but we genuinely appreciate and love everyone's support. It takes everybody to make this work. All right, got those guys knuckled in. We're gonna pull this thing ahead. Come on, sweetie. Don't you be that way. Come on. Nope. Okay, there we go. We're gonna go get out past the lead of the yard here. And then we're gonna back into the caboose, and we're gonna be able to highball towards Shady Grove, should everything look great. That fire region is dead. That's fine. So's that one. So's that one.
No, you're switching. You don't need a super
You really
big
don't.
rolling fire.
Yeah, that's the joy. The locomotive's been fine. We're still above 100 psi, which isn't the end of the world. But yeah, switching fires tend to look like utter garbage in a coal burner. But we need to start building it up, knowing that our big run is about to start here. So, especially knowing the silliness of the first industry we need to go service. It's more than a wee bit of a silly alignment, but definitely a bit of fun, and helps show off some of the stuff that we've developed this past couple months here. Alright, well, as all this madness rolls past the switch here, toss my handbrake on. And switching, you also don't tend to mess around with the automatic too much if you don't have to. And we'll ride the shove from back here and hope that our firemen's got everything set up. Probably. Shrug. Maybe we'll check the fire real fast. Why not? It looks like all the regions are now in a happier place. They just don't have as much fresh coal as they potentially need, so we'll let that do and let the coal start to catch, and hopefully we'll be making good pressure before we decide to get out on the road here. But we need to go bang into the DNRGW, or DNRG, depending on your year, Class 3 caboose, which was teased many months ago by Drew, who's joined us on the team.
Hello.
Hey, Drew. I'm glad you're here for this. I have to say I'm ridiculously proud of you and what you have done in the past week or 10 days alone. This has been huge crunch time for us, and we see your comments, and we very much appreciate your understanding and the love and support as always. But know that we have quite a lot of fun, and we really love and enjoy what we get to do making this game. And Drew has done a fantastic job getting this caboose up to snuff and getting it in-game and working as it should. I mean, it really is just a beautiful, fun thing. So it's based on the Denver and Rio Grande Western long caboose, of which there are many styles. There's, again, millions of customizations as we talk about. Well, maybe not millions on this, but peaked roof, round roof, lots of different fun there. You can see we have it in a very Penzi adjacent livery with that, the Biowar bonds, and then the 6-digit number, thanks to Wings. And we do have it set up right now real easy just for the fun. I'm playing single player. The marker lights are just setting themselves up. So I coupled in, and the markers over here disappeared, and we've just got the markers on the rear. And they're aimed the right way, and they're amber on all sides but the rear, where they're red, which is a DNRGW standard from later years. When you take a look in the caboose itself, it's just a beautiful model of a really, really cool caboose that I'm so excited to see us have in the game. And Drew, you did such a good model making this thing happen. And as previously set up and shown, if you're in the locomotive and you press 7, you can warp back to the caboose to see what's going on. So you can see that we do in fact have 70 pounds in the rear end gauge. We've got the conductor's valve here with the more advanced style conductor's valve in this case that you can utilize in quite a manner of fun ways. But we warp back to the cab, The pressure is coming up. We're at 105. You can see how pissed off this fire is, but we're gonna keep pissing it off because I let it die back too far, and that's the fun. And we don't want to draw any cold air here, and we're gonna get this all mad and raging, and then it's time to run to the other end of the line as the storm rolls in here. So, joy. Weather has become much more impactful as of late. We've always had everything set up and ready for it to affect the way the locomotive looks, with the snifters and the steam and the smoke and all that we talked about a year plus ago, but now it dynamically does that, and it automatically happens. As well, if it's wet out, it will affect your adhesion on the railroad. And sand is now a thing as well on our locomotives. We shut it off on the diesel, but we hadn't had it on a steam engine yet. We've got some water. The pump's still working. We've got allegedly a fire in here. We're going to give it another layer of coal. So we're about to work this thing, and I guess it's time to go. Alright, now don't eat my face, sweetheart. Please be nice. Please be nice. Please be nice. I'm using the keyboard controls we talked about last time. You cannot leave the throttle in one spot. It's just like the real thing. You gotta get after it. Okay, there we go. All good there. No big deal. Okay. Sneak through the yard, and you can see some other things that we've added recently. This was something that I added that as soon as I showed Brett, he got irrationally mad at me for, which is valid. The ka-tink of the Johnson bar, that a locomotive that's, not in necessarily perfect condition tends to do. That's a fun new little ad that just adds to the feel of the locomotive, and it's based on how hard the engine works and its condition and a number of different things, and that really adds to the overall experience there. But we're going to keep the bar kind of hooked up. We're getting out of 10 here. Here's the yard limit sign. I'm going to set out the air. We're going to do our running brake test here. And we see and hear the brakes doing something at the caboose, so there you go. And as we roll around, God, that's a cool shot, isn't it? We're off to the races here. And Tom's work on Keystone through here has just been absolutely magical. Getting to see the locomotive in this status, working through this environment, it's genuinely amazing. Alright, let's get some water in this puppy, because it needs it.
And I think it's worth noting that now with injectors, the prime function is genuinely something that I can contend with, because if you try to just yank it all the way back,
yeah, you do have to get the injectors primed properly for them to actually run. And if you don't, they won't pick up, and they respond to the water level in the tender, which is a little bit why I was a little cagey about the, oh yeah, we didn't need to have, we don't need to get water before we leave. It's fine. Alright. Pressure's coming up, water's back in the glass. I might double gun this, honestly, for a little bit. Really make it work for it. And just make sure that it looks like the surface of the sun in here. You can also see as we roll around the bend onto the bridge here that the curves are super elevated on Keystone. Not that we're really going to need to take utilization of that with this 1024 with its little drivers, but it does add to the vibe and the feel, and if you run a really high drivered engine, you're going to want that, so. speed here, doing 20 mile an hour. Water's coming back up. We were gonna dip in the track when I looked, so yeah. Oh, shut up. I was trying to keep the speed up, okay? Quit it.
Easy, Mark.
But yeah, the flanges will tell you if you're overdoing it a little bit. There's milepost 1, so 5 more to go. Yeehaw. We're gonna need more than a full glass by the time we get to our first stop at Coalfield. So we're gonna just keep that injector running wide open if we can. We need to keep feeding it. We are not being gentle to the locomotive at this moment, so not stopping at the Union Gap flag stop. We're gonna keep rolling.
Right past the Oxbow Lake back there. There was a lot of really interesting hydrology worked into this map, which was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
So like an Oxbow, for context, if a river is meandering and it meanders past a certain point, it'll basically cut itself off, and what's left over is an Oxbow Lake where the river used to run, but now it just bypasses that. So a lot of
so cool.
A lot of dynamic rivers tend to do that. So a little fun environmental stuff there.
So we get bonked by the Telltale on the way into the tunnel, which is going to be key for any of you playing brakeman or conductor on one of these railroads. Come into the tunnel and we hear breathe in the smoke and die. That's fine. Still got the gun wide open. Got lots of coal. Give the middle of the fire a little bit more attention. See, we're generating more than we make, but we're still 130 is our MAWP, and I'd like to be a little closer to that. So we're definitely shooting a little black coal out, but it's all right. Cross over the trestle, over the river once more, and we're coming up on Coalfields. Back for the conductor, who tells me to stop. Yeah, we're bringing it in here.
And this is the Atlantic Coastline 6?
It is, yeah. We were going to use a different whistle, and then we got so involved in the development that we ended up with the one that I'm really loving at the moment, and I'm not mad about it, so. Alright. Get a nice amount of air set up there. And by a nice amount, I mean too much. It's fine. I'll just dump it. Dump it and make sure the train's all zeroed out before we move on. We've got to deliver the boxcar that we showed earlier here, that we transloaded into. Get everything tied off. Get a handbrake tied here as well. Get that all reset. We do have a... Yeah, yes, sweetheart. Shut up. We do, in fact, have water in the glass. Hopefully it's enough. Screams. This grade is quite silly, so it's going to be a fun time.
Did you pull your cut lever?
Good question, Tristan.
You know...
He's here to help.
Is the parking brake on?
Might be. Should take it out of first gear. That's fine. Okay. Here we're at Coalfields. Gonna get the switch lined in, because we're gonna go visit the ice house next. Because we gotta get our reefers primed, which we'll show in just a minute. But first we gotta deliver the thing that goes bang to the place that needs the things that go bang. Anyway, recall that this car is full of dynamite. It will rock your world. And black powder. So, anyway, we're going to get the air cut off of it, because, you know, naturally the smartest maneuver when handling hazmat is to kick it, so.
Kicking?
I want to do some kicking. And we're going to want every ounce of steam pressure we got, so I'm going to shut the gun off. You would bounce against me. Okay, there we go. Cut Pet lovers pulled. Got the sander open. Oh man, you're starting to pull water there for a second. That sound? Yeah, that's the sound of water running through the engine, which is not ideal, which is also new this month. But now that we're aimed uphill, the water is going to slosh away in the boiler, so it'll be fine. So we're definitely, yeah, we're still at full glass on this grade, which this grade is this grade. So we definitely oversold it a little bit, but that's all right. Get this thing all the way up the hill here. It looks like pressure's come up. It's quite happy. We're gonna have to blow down a little bit, get some water out of this thing. Make sure the fire's nice and good.
Make sure your switch is lined as well.
Oh, that's probably a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, we were talking before filming this. There's literally so much to do this month that we were like, do we need someone in the passenger seat like Group B Rally just to keep you...
Literally, I need a couple friends to help, please. Anyway, we gotta pick
Teamwork
up
makes the
these,
dream work.
Gotta pick up these hoppers, or not hoppers, high side guns, which again are also a new thing this month. They were sneakily hidden in the background of last month's vlog again. Another satisfied customer of the JNSD, or JNSG. It's not the ES&D, I promise. Anyway, bang. And, did that bang? It did. I banged them both. Shut up, you. Full of water, full of coal, now you're all happy. Get this thing primed. Tell it to shut up.
Definitely feels like the locomotives have a lot of personality now, and by personality I mean she's pissed.
Yeah, I genuinely, while testing this vlog, have cursed out our own locomotives so many times. They're just as bad as the real ones. Which, hopefully that's the experience you're looking for. And again, if it's not, it's going to be a difficulty setting. Would you shut up, please? We have a video to film.
It's an affectionate disdain, though.
It is an affectionate disdain. It's the kind of Stockholm syndrome you get with a locomotive. And cold factor safeties look awesome. Because it's 37 degrees out at the moment here. A little spring storm going on, as you can see in the upper left UI, which is just fantastic. Alright, so we're going to get this thing rolling, and we're going to use another new fun steam engine thing. Not every engine's going to have this, but it is quite fun. We don't need this anymore. So, early locomotives that didn't have independent brakes stares at the Class 56, which a lot of the switching has been done by key commands running the handbrake on the tender. If you don't have an independent brake, it runs the tender handbrake. A lot of early locomotives had what is called the Le Chatelier, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, or water brake. It was made by Mr. Le Chatelier from France back in the day. And the procedure is you open the valve up with the cylinder cocks open, and you make sure you're not getting a bunch of white madness out the stack, because you're getting water from the boiler space, and it's being run between the exhaust passages of the valve. Shut up. and the oh, I've got the blower open, that's why. Just trying to get it to shut up differently. Runs between the exhaust passage of the steam side of things and the cylinders themselves, and so it basically acts as a Jake brake, but for a steam engine. Good lord. That grade is just spectacular. And if you get it too far open, you will get white obnoxious out the stack, and the Johnson bar will be springing all over the place, letting you know that you're actually working the water in the engine, and it's trying to compress the water that you have, which is, how you break the steam engine, so don't do that. And that will increase the maintenance condition on your engine, and it'll make your engine quite sad. So that is quite a fun time. Don't do it. Anyway, Now that we've got these cars picked off the hill, come on, tracks are still wet, and they're letting us know that. Get these cars backed on, and they certainly do feel like they have mass to them, and that's because they do. Load weights and loads are a thing now. Anything else we've had before was just kind of a temp thing, or, we could demo it up, but we actually have loads and load weights built in for a number of the different commodities in the game now. Yes, Demon Growl, please. Thanks, sweetheart. Why did I make the locomotive so annoying, guys? Why did I do that? Anyway.
You seemed happy about it at the time.
I did. I still think it's really cool, actually.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes it interesting, is that it's, getting from point A to point B is not just a waiting game. There's a lot to contend with. Your engine's going to be happy or pissed off. You have to listen to it and sort of meet it where it's at and work with it rather than use it to do work. It's a team player with you.
And when I did all these the test runs for this vlog, I didn't have to talk and not think about my fire with my whole brain, and we're seeing the results of that in the sim right now. Anyone who's fired coal has had this day before. I promise we'll get it to shut up at some point. And there is a variable as well to turn the safety sounds off, for those of you that don't want to experience this, but we're playing in full realism, full annoying, full everything mode today, just for my pain, I think, but that's the fun. The fun of the game is that it kills me inside, right? Anyway.
That's what the people want.
I believe so. Anyway. Come on, sweetie. No, come on.
You pulling a handbrake?
Yeah. It would help if I turned that off, wouldn't it?
I am here to help again.
That's why you have a train crew. The five of us will share a brain cell and we'll get it done.
Literally. Come on, sweetie. Be nice. One of the changes to the... there we go. One of the changes to the keyboard commands we talked about last time a lot is that shift has been added as a modifier to them as well, which is very helpful for, horsing the throttle around and slamming it shut when it slips, and it's an insta slam shut right now, which I quite like programmatically. As well, Johnson bar, it runs faster or slower whether or not you're holding shifts. And it also affects the whistle commands we talked about. If you want a quick, just a cute little, oh yeah, go ahead, or a go ahead whistle, you can have either with the way the key commands are set up. So it's a helpful thing. You can really get it to do whatever you need. And I'm gonna water the corn over there. Or is that wheat? Sorry, Tom.
I think it's wheat.
I hate to ruin the world, but you know what?
Come on over.
She's pissed off today. One of the other new things, which beneficially we can watch from afar while zoomed in, is there's been an update made to the alt UI that was done by Tristan. And that is, one, that the text follows the free cam, which is wonderful, but also that our loading zones are now much easier to determine, because rather than just being a giant box that kind of looks awkward, like I temped out, because I'm, just learning the software side of things as we go here, it actually highlights the ballast where the loading zone is. And so we can see, hey, we're spotted up here at the ice house, and we've got some things to do, and we've got more industry interactions to talk about that you're not going to interrupt, sweetheart. I promise you're not. Because I'm going to drown you in your own water. I hope. Screams. Anyway. So again, we walk up to the industry, we press I, and we can see that we've got a couple different cars spotted, and we could tab between them. You'll note that both of the cars display empty, but one allows us to refill from car. And the ice house is one of the facilities that you'll be able to place as a player that your company owns, rather than it being a distinct industry, and you're going to need it to actually prime reefers. So if we take a look, you can see this car has nothing, but this car from the depot is going to the Keystone Ice House, which is where we're at. Ice blocks can be delivered to ice houses. So we've got 26,000 plus pounds of ice, which is only 38% of the car's volume, but you'll note that it's pretty much the capacity of the car. We wouldn't want to add much more there, otherwise we'd be damaging the car, and again, that's simulated. And even though we're delivering to ourselves, we will get a little payout for it because, hey, you did the good. You did the good, we're going to help you out with it.
Yep, it's a little crew wage.
Just a little crew wage. So we can go back to the industry and we can say, hey, let's refill from the car. We got that 26,000 pounds of ice. We want to put it into the industry. And you see after a little bit more than a minute, the industry will get all the ice from that refrigerator car. And we can simultaneously fill other cars that are spotted. Like, workers can only do one thing at a time in these kinds of situations. Depending on the level of your industry, which is going to be talked about a lot more in a couple months down the road. Our May devlog is going to get a lot more into industries and leveling and scaling and all that manner of thing. We talked a little bit previously in our Shay devlog on Ponderosa about how industries would load and do things differently. In this case, we're having a one car transaction at a time versus the whole train. And this is something we're still working on. It's something that we talk about a lot of the time because we understand the thematic desire for, hey, let's set out this one car at this one industry and come pick it up later. But there's also the unit train. I'm going to have words for you. We're going to get number 10, and we are going to make the number 9 a Honda Civic, I think.
She responds well to threats, apparently.
The steam locomotives tend to. Anyway, we want to have a little bit of both. So if you have a unit train of coal or lumber or something like that, it's highly likely that the industries are going to load it in one go, and you can load and go and move on. So if you're playing some kind of Eastern Coal Railroad simulator shenanigan, you can get everything going nice and easy. But if you're doing less than carload, 1 car, 2 car, special loads, that whole 9 yards, any of those things, then you can do that too. But it's going to be much simpler and it will take time to load, and that's kind of what we're thinking about right now. Of course, please let us know what you think in the comments. We're very curious to hear what you guys as players want. We think having any of that sort of stuff as special loads or less than carload loads or any of the smaller stuff like that, specialty things being their own separate thing from just raw bulk commodities, is probably the easiest way to get a little bit of both. Making it not a job, but at the same time you get the thematic, oh, I delivered, I did the thing, and I had to wait, etc. So both of those reefers are iced, and now we're going to ice the next 2. And I'm just going to make this little puppy slip her little heart out real fast. Just so she'll shut up. Maybe we can burn some of this pressure off. Just a little bit. Pull up the UI. And spot it there. Why not? She's at 123, so that's probably just about killed it. And we have more switching to do before we set off up the hill coming up. So we're going to get that shut off. We'll just leave that dumped. Why not? And we'll get these last 2 reefers iced. So we can see that we have a lot more ice within our ice house now because we delivered it from the one refrigerator car to the facility itself. Ice doesn't grow on trees. It grows on mountains. Shrug.
A lot of times it actually grows in rivers, but only during the winter time, which that will be a fun mechanic to talk about later, I think.
Yeah, seasonality, you can see that we're 1920s in the spring. We get a lot of questions about time of day, time of year, how things will work, and specifically, we've definitely said that eras are a thing. It's going to be not quite by decade, but largely by decade or larger increments. But there will be seasons, and how things happen and the events that happen within them will change per season. You're not going to get this kind of crazy storm and all of that in the height of summer. You're going to get even worse things in the height of winter. So your railway will have to deal with all of the above. Now, if we take a look, we click on the car, and then we hit slash right now, which is our temp key for this. Ice, 100%, ice, 100%, ice, 100%, and ice, 100%. This is going to be some of the incentive to have a conductor or other train crew folk on your train is going to be that you can have somebody who can manage your manifest for you while you're managing the locomotive and the fire that you keep forgetting about. Screams, which we should probably look at. Oh yeah, I had a feeling it was totally dead. Well, it's not quite totally dead. It's just dead in at least the back left, which is where she likes it. This choo-choo, she reminds me a lot of a choo-choo I know that likes to burn real hot up front by the tube sheet and real hot in the back left corner for some undiscernible reason. Probably something weird with the ash pan. Anyway. She also has KO'd packing on the fireman's side, which is, it's fine. You know, we'll take her to the shop and they'll work on it a little bit, and it'll get better.
For your switches line to have?
I've got the one, yeah. Okay. We gotta set out the first reefer here. Let's go in between, get the angle cocks shut, and then we did put a set on the train, but we'll also tie a brake because we're gonna be good kids. And come on. Go, sweetie. Yes, I know I should probably release your brakes, and you don't have an independent, but you have driver brakes, and that makes life hard. Okay, there we go. And we got to get past this next switch here. And then we're going to bring this back into the creamery, and it'll start loading. And it's going to be loaded with butter and cheese, which is quite fun. But that's going to take a smidge to load because it's a smaller industry, it's a lower level, and again, this is one car, and we're doing a less than carload type load. So we're going to have to come back and pick this up on our way back to Keystone. But we'll set it out here, and we'll grab it on the way back. So we'll keep.
We've been doing a lot of internal testing as far as what feels right for wait times, what feels right for the amount of setouts and pickups you do, and eventually, you know, like one thing we wanted to try to find a balance for is the feeling that, you know, sometimes all of your cars are set out and you're just doing a caboose hop from one place to another just to pick stuff up, because we didn't want it to be where you're just hauling, you know, unit trains everywhere and you never, you know, break apart and reassemble your trains. So
switching is some of the most fun you can have on the railroad as an engineer, as a brakeman, as a anyone. And railroads used their assets very frugally in many cases. At least good ones did, or tried to. So we want to simulate that for you. We want you to have the experience of, okay, yeah, I don't have 100,000 of these cars. I've only got, you know, maybe 40 cars or maybe 100 cars, but you have to be able to utilize what you have in what location in a certain way, and that's a key piece of the experience in Century of Steam, and we want to make sure that you guys understand that feeling, and that's really what narrow gauge is about. Don't hit the cars that hard, Mark. It's fine. Nothing blew up, right? Okay, good. All right. Ouch. We'll pay for that one later. Dare I look? 86%. That's okay. It's fine. The condition of the car is there, and you can instantaneously see if you've ruined it. Which I don't think we've ruined it, but we didn't do it any favors. Anyways. I would have hit the grade crossing button instead of the forward button. It's just on brand. I did it during testing. Did it now. Just assume it's a hey, we're gonna leave, but also really extravagant. Anyway, we get some more coal in the important spots in the hole here because we're gonna need it shortly. Okay, throttle's wide open. The bar's a couple clicks out of the corner. One of the additions this month as well, including the bar doing its little tink-tink, is the fact that the bar is notched, and it does latch into those notches specifically, so you have a discrete amount of positions it can be, which is quite fun. I'm not stopping here.
Sure?
Nope.
Sure you don't want water?
No, we don't need any water. Water's overrated.
Okay.
I'm getting it out of the boiler actually right now. We're painting the fields. It's actually the most water I've carried in this darn thing, like this whole time, anytime we've ever tested. Okay. Now we know we're not too bad off there. We do want to get the water running. Come on, you. We want to get the water running. Hey, there we go. It's primed now. No. It primed briefly. You saw the water come out, right? Wasn't just me? Okay, Tom, maybe we should have stopped.
Mark, where's the tender water?
Not in a great place. And it's certainly, as we go up this 3-point-whatever% grade, it is certainly not aimed at our locomotive. If we take a look at the tender, yeah, we got 166 gallons left, and it is all sloshed to the rear. And our fire's dead too. So that's just spectacular. Come on, you. We'll make it up this hill, I promise. I hope.
You wanna... We were supposed to finish the run.
We were supposed to finish the run. We just need to get the fire just absolutely pissed, and it'll be fine.
Oh, this is about the perfect storm here. You're low on water, it's all sloshed to the back, your injectors aren't picking up, you're losing steam, and we need to not explode, so
Yeah,
what
you know,
could possibly go wrong?
we might end up shoving back to the coalfield tank. This was not the plan for the vlog. We had a plan. I knew that I was going to be coy about the injectors, and that was going to be funny. And then my own hubris of being a presenter in the midst of doing all the things at the same time, we knew it was going to go worse. When I could focus on just playing the game, I was able to do this relatively flawlessly. But man, this is not great at the moment. We do have this fire just absolutely pissed at the moment.
No, you're starting to recover. It's just a matter of getting to the top before you run out of water there.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. As the British say, we might have to stop and blow up. That's literally what they call adding pressure when stuck on a hill, is blowing up, which, thanks, Britain.
Not that blow up.
Not that blow up. Oh, come on, you. You have, like, no pressure, and you're still gonna quarter slip on me. You're adorable, and I hate you. Anyway. Well, we're gonna dump the air and sit on the hill for a second and think about our life decisions that have led us here.
Insert Family Guy death pose Rico here.
Pretty much. And we're gonna see if we can get some pressure put back in this thing real fast, and we'll be right back with you. It's fine. Okay, well, as the Brits would say, we have stopped and we've blown up. The fire is quite pissed off. There's a lot of coal in the hole. The blower is so wide open that I can hear Jeff Taylor screaming at me from the other side of the town at the moment. And we are on literally the worst part of this hill. This hill up to summit, it's just right there. We're so close. We're like halfway up the hill on this side, and we've made it to the part where it's the steepest. Also, it's the steepest curvature, both of which affect your ability to pull the train, and both of which are simulated, so now we have to start in those conditions. So as Tom said, bunch the train, do it and you're cool. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna try some old school tech here.
We're gonna try some old school BS right now. See what happens. Hope
Basically,
our fly cam is fast enough.
Yeah, the idea being Mark wants to let the slack go in and only take one car at a time so that he can build up speed. We'll see if it works.
The challenge is that I need to run from the UI back here. That's how this works. I was gonna say three cars worth of brakes is not even enough brakes to hold us on the hill right now, unfortunately. Okay. Get to a stall. Brake off. Brake off. Oh god. Go. 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 Go, little choo-choo. I believe in you.
Oh, it's going.
Boomph. The biggest chuff.
Come on.
Oh, yes.
Hop back in the cab.
Okay, sweetie. Okay. Everything I said about you being a piece of garbage earlier, I rescind it. Oh my god, I'm having an emotional moment about the steam engines in the video game we've made, guys. It's not supposed to feel that good. Oh my god. How cool. Wide open in the corner, the fire is just absurd at the moment. And we're gonna pop the safety and we can't get the guns going, so F in chat for that, but after lambasting and complaining about the poor choo-choo, you know, all the way up to here, and now when you need it, when you're down for the count, she's got your back. And you watch her do the little waddle because she's the little itty-bitty baby thing with the cutest little main rods the world ever did see. Look at you, you glorious thing. Number 9. Oh, you're gonna fucking blow up right now. You fucking piece of shit.
And then you'll blow up.
Shit.
I take back everything I said again. God damn it. Okay. By the fact that it is slightly after the time we left in Keystone when we started filming, you can tell that we definitely did not replay this at all. It's fine. We got places to be. So let's get there. Shut up, Tom. We're gonna use this? Who knows? Maybe just for Tom dying in delirium of... Wait. Did that happen? Oh, hey, look, the injector works. That's nice. Okay, we got a hill to get up here, folks, so we're gonna try and hit it with speed and pressure and not our crown sheet this time.
what I love about this game is that every trip over the line is a new adventure. You never know what's going to happen.
We actually
So
made a
many
huge
tests,
adventure.
years of academy training wasted. It's fine.
Mark, they got water there.
Despite knowing that what happened last time, we're still gonna run past it. It's fine.
I don't need it. No, I don't need it.
Yeah, we got 300 gallons of water left still. See? It's fine.
I don't need it.
Okay. Come on, sweetie, let's go.
At least your fire's better this time.
I was gonna say, I didn't spend the first, 3 hours checks notes of gameplay. Oh, that's the injector broken from the slosh. F. I didn't spend the first 3 hours of the day in the game talking about UI and things, and so I was able to just kind of focus and try and figure things out, although this train is still... Oh, come on, babe. Now we have to go up the hill in the rain. God. Okay. So, sanders, right? So this is manual sand. It's hand sand. Which is just kind of like a powdered sugar shaker that your grandma might have. But it does open and close a little port, and if your sand's in good shape and it's not wet, it'll just fall out. So if you leave it open forever, you'll run out of sound very, very quickly. So we're gonna try and not leave that open all the time, but at the same time, it's also pretty critical for us to, get up the hill with. So just during this hard and unnatural fog. Anyway. And this time we have more water than last time, which is good. The injector's still running, even. Or it sounds... Oh, no, it doesn't. That's a different sound. It's like... It sounds like the injector's running. No, it's not. I guarantee it's not. Yeah. So this time, you can see with more boiler pressure that even the worst part of the hill, you might be down onto your knees with the choo-choo in the corner wide open, everything. And your poor fireman, if you've got the bar near the corner, I mean, you can see how fast the coal just is disappearing off the grate and the pressure dying. So you don't want to stay there terribly long if you have to. But no trouble. Milepost 3, there we are. Okay. And checks notes still have lots of water, so we shouldn't die right here, right now. So that's good. We live to die another day, ladies and gents. I love seeing the little markers on the back of the caboose there. It's fun. Each of these curves grabs us just a little bit. And I did temp out the fire and water usage numbers with real locomotives, and they make sense. It seems like you're shoveling quite a lot, but running an engine this hard, this long, it's what it does. That's why it's beneficial to have 2 people, perhaps 3 if you're the one that's presenting. Anyway. Alright, there's the summit tunnel up there. Thank God. I think we're gonna make it this time, guys.
I mean, I said that last time and then it blew up.
There's water over the crown this time. It's fine.
Yeah, this is part of the fun and the chaos and the absurdity and the challenge and just the different nature of the kind of game we're after. It's not just a matter of the trains run themselves and it's just a waiting game between station stops. Like, it is gonna be a fight every time you run, and if you're prepared, you'll get through it. If you're not prepared, goofy things happen.
That's a little bit of the thing. Every engine's got a personality. Every run's going to be different, depending on the weather, depending on the terrain. It is not just welded on full forwards and go. I mean, that's not how the way the railway is, and we want you to feel what it's like to operate a steam locomotive. And you heard me curse it, you heard me fall in love with it, and then you watched me blow it up. All in the span of about 3 minutes. And all of those emotions were all true, all at the same time. Just, didn't quite necessarily know that was what was gonna happen. So, alright. Come on, sweetie. Let's get to the tank. I know the spot for the 1024. We'll line our cab window up nicely with the ladder here. A little bit more. There's that. Okay, that ought to do it. Make sure that we're not going to go anywhere. And in the height of the storm here, we're going to hop up on top and see about... Okay, yeah, we did drift forward. That's great. Come on, sweetheart. Come on. Come on.
She did not like that.
Well, it's quite damp, if you couldn't tell. Anyway, spot at the water tank, get the spout aligned. We want to make left and right aligning a thing. It's still to come. And then, for the purpose of the vlog here, we've added it to the UI that you got to do that. Otherwise, it'll just be a drag the spout down, and that'll be that. But she'll get filled up. We'll take a look at the fire real quick here. We're going to be going largely downhill on the way out of here, but we want to make sure we're not going to tear any holes. Just because we're going downhill doesn't mean that we're not going to work the engine at all. And I know that I overcharged the train, so I'm just going to be lazy and dump it. And then recharge it, and that'll make things a little happier there. And we'll take a look around our engine otherwise. She looks quite majestic in the bit of the fog here. The weather and the rain and everything here at Lakeview. Yeah. And there we go. All full of water. This big 50,000 gallon water tank made by Ben. DNR GW prototype. It has quite the spout on it, so it does fill pretty quick. You can double check. We're full 2,000 gallons. And we've shoveled almost 1,000 pounds worth of coal into the engine so far. So it'll be interesting to see how much we end up running through on our run today. But anyway, it's time to get underway. Be nice, sweetheart. Come on. There we go. Okay. There we are. All right. Underway. Things are working. It's fine. So now we've got a full tender of water, and we're going to be going downhill, so we'll have plenty of water, oh Christ, in the tender that should be becoming rapidly be put in the locomotive itself. The injectors, you do have to prime them, and they have to prime for a certain amount of time, and they do get mad if you treat them improperly. So fresh tender of water, the injectors are nice and happy. We're definitely going to want to abuse that and run them for what they're worth right now to make sure that we don't have a stupid on the downhill here. In our original vlog showing off water slosh and boiler explosions and all that madness, there was no calculation based in for the heat of the crown. There now is, so it is based on the heat that you have against the crown sheet itself as well. But, you know, I don't want to take my chances, so we're gonna just get off the hill nice and quick and make sure that our water keeps sloshing around. So, seems fine. Goodness. You know, it's funny. Tom named this curve for an earlier death on a test that I had, and gave me a little headstone. My name's now Ellen. You know, it's funny that we had a worse problem at an earlier curve on the layouts. Oh, okay. Water's back. So
You're in good company. By good company, I mean us in the past.
pretty much. Keep the boiler in good shape. We'll do some rolling blowdowns on the bridge here. There is going to be a dedicated maintenance condition for the boiler and the running gear itself per locomotive, so you're going to manage both of those things, and the biggest success you can have in a water treatment program is continually blowing down the boiler as often as you can. Get all the junk out of it, so... and you perverted logging folks wanting to take water from rivers, you know, just keep that in mind. Your engine's going to look like a logging engine if you do that. Right, we're going to keep her rolling here, and she is mad about the fresh coal that I put on. You hear the doom bass going on there, and that's one of the things that the coal burners do, man. I've managed to make the locomotive significantly annoying with this vlog. Maybe that's what we retitle the vlog. Hours upon hours of Mark getting annoyed by the locomotives. Because they're that realistic, which hopefully you understand, and hopefully it feels like a locomotive you've operated, or hopefully it scratches your itch of wanting to operate a locomotive, because that's really what we're getting after here.
The quirks and the idiosyncrasies and the little tantrums and stuff, it's what make these feel alive. And it just makes it that much more interesting. It keeps you on your toes, keeps the gameplay interesting, and when you get really good at managing that and keeping your engine in good spirits, it feels really satisfying.
It does. That love for the engine when we did the meme right before it blew up, I mean, that was genuinely one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in a train game. And I'm not even saying that to toot my own whistle, although... we're at our next stop location here, so I had to. Just the combination of all the things and getting to feel the load weight, the train weight, the pressure sim, the coal firing, the water, everything tying in. It is a lot to keep track of, and I understand that. And if you don't want to have to deal with all that, that's great, and you won't have to. But if you want this truly fully immersive experience, it's gonna be here for you. And it's not easy. It's not incredibly hard, but it's not easy. And so that adds to all manner of fun. And here we are pulling up against the Fruit Growers Association here in the orchard here on Keystone. And we're going to set out our refrigerator cars here. There's a couple more over there that are still loading that we'll pick up on our return trip. We'll get this thing to the other end of this siding here, and we'll go tie that in. Anywhere in there will do. Let's double check that our choo-choo's not going to do anything stupid while we're gone. Got full bottle of water, 120 pounds. It'll be fine. So we're going to jump over here and cut the air out. I'm going to pull the pair of pins because we're going to end up needing both of them pulled. Go, sweetie. I can hear you from here. I know you're being a pain in the butt. No, I said pull the pin. Okay, thanks. And we're gonna get past the switch here, and then we gotta line things up on, what is this, track 1? Yeah, track 1 of track 2. So we got these other 3 reefers here. Another structure made by Tom, just kind of quite quickly, and it's awesome, and it's a historical building. If you have anything to say about it, please do.
Who, me or the audience?
Yeah, you. Person who made cool building.
Yeah.
Sure.
Brett. Was it Brett for the reference for that? So special shout out to Brett for helping getting that made.
That's right.
Also shout out to Andrew for finding the sandboard map for a similar structure and help with getting general dimensions. Yeah, we have. We didn't really talk much about the creamery down in Coalfield, but that's based on the Douglas County Creamery in the Carson Valley. And this is based on the Fruit Growers Association Packing House number 2 in Colorado. So we have a couple of new industries that are specifically for dealing with perishable freight. And as we've been showing, you got to prime reefers to get payout bonuses for them. And to keep it from spoiling, but we'll show a bit more of the nitty gritty of that in a future thing. The main thing here is the process of icing the reefers, priming them, and then getting them loaded up with specific cargo that benefits from the ice. So it's a neat little extra layer of doing the commodity hauls where it's not always just take stuff from point A to point B. If you have the opportunity to give yourself a improved condition for the cargo, you can do that. So that's sort of the risk reward thing. Do you want to spend the extra time setting up cargo to last a bit more? And if you do, you'll get more money from it.
Exactly.
And it also encourages you to run a reefer train like a proper hotshot fast freight, because that ice is going to melt and you're going to lose that bonus if you take too much time. So it gives you a little incentive to run the railroad the way you really would, where you're not just dealing with deadlines of certain things need to be here by this certain time, but where you got to be thinking about the condition of the stuff you're hauling.
Yeah, the economy of the game, we really want it to be advanced, and we really want it to be interlaced and interesting, and it's going to be involved. Some of the UI might feel like there's a fair amount of things, and we're still working on all of that stuff as much as we can, and that's one of the biggest points we work on and talk about. But there's a lot of information to convey, because it's not just going to be a simple, this car has logs and it goes to this location or that location. There's so much more to it. I mean, it's going to be more of a like a railroad tycoon type economy system that is going to make things dynamic and interesting, and what you choose to do and how you choose to build your railroad to deal with that is going to change everything for you about how it functions, and that's really important to us. As dynamic and fun as operating the engine is, we want the experience as a company to be quite interesting as well. So as we're getting out of Citrus Heights here, fewer and fewer cars in tow. We're almost to the end of our run one way. That's right, we're going to be going back to Keystone today. You can see and hear that I've got the injector fine down with the water valve, which means that it's putting out less water than it normally would be, which saves on the steam pressure that the injector uses, and also doesn't overfill the boiler, but it does tend to make the injector quite angry. So before shutting it off, I open that water valve wide open again, and then I shut it off. Otherwise, the injector's not going to want to start next time, and it still might not want to start next time, because the code is unfortunately just that realistic. Doing a good 25 mile an hour. Need a little pull. It's all level through here, but it's big, broad, sweeping, fun curves, and we're not working the thing to the bone, but we are trying to scoot the rest of the way there. So let's see just how much the equipment's bobbing around the track as we go down here. The effects of speed definitely taste it, and even this little 36-inch driver 280, if you've got a low enough weight behind it, she will move. Doing a little over 30 mile an hour right now. You can hear the flanges starting to chirp. We don't want to go too much faster than that. Those are all also new sounds for this month. And that was quite a bit of fun to get those sorted out and get the feel of overspeed derailments and all that. Okay, full glass of water. Fire's mad. What else is new? I grab a little air. These curves are super elevated, but we are schmovin'. Just a little bit. Just take the pinch off the top. We don't want to hurt Mr. Whoever's Ford Model B back there. Special load, special delivery. I can keep this thing near center, I think. With it being flat and everything. Throttle wide open, run with the bar. That's clean living. Happy engineer noises. Going to keep a little bit of a fire in this thing. We're going to have some switching to do up at Shady Grove up here. You can see we're coming into Tunnel 3, the last tunnel for the map. And we're gonna cross past the Telltales, which important fun detail for those of you brakeman types in the world. If you're not paying attention and you're doing brakeman things, maybe you don't have air brakes yet. The subtle thud tells you, get down! Don't be on top of the train. Just like the real thing.
Also, tunnel volumes now change the sound quite a bit.
Yeah, that was something that we had temped out before that wasn't quite right, and it's so much nicer now. I really, really like the way that it all turned out. And then the tunnel as well was another custom tunnel that you made for Keystone specifically.
It's got a really tiny bore, only about 12 by 16 feet. A lot of the tunnels on the East Coast are a much smaller size, so if you don't want to spend as much money digging out, a giant Harriman Common Standard bore, just dig a little rat hole. It'll be cheaper.
There you go.
But it also means you have to be careful about what equipment will fit through there.
God, I tried to get the injector running there, and it didn't want to run. And then it did the second try, which remember what I said about it getting mad? I didn't let it run long enough with the water valve open enough, and that's my own fault. Anyway, one last little crossing here. Fire off the canned crossing sound for that. And we got a lot of switching to do, but it's all kind of facing point right now, so we're going to run around the train first. So once we get nice and in the clear here, I'm going to shut it down, set up a little air, keyboard commands, and shut off the injector. It should be happier now that I've been running it wide open. Shouldn't be giving me too much trouble, he says, hopingly.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. For a long time, originally when we had started things and I originally coded the injectors, I didn't want to do the water valve, and I didn't want to do the full sim of what running one of these lifting injectors is like. And then we got more and more and more and more into the character and the feel of the locomotives and the experience, and it was like, well, anyone who's fired with this kind of injector knows the pain and has a common reference point with that pain. And I would be doing the actual experience of operating one of these a disservice if I didn't simulate it. So we did. And don't get your injector pissed off, because it'll cause you to, threaten to scrap the digital locomotive just as much as I threatened earlier. Okay, so as shown in a previous vlog, earlier, I guess late last year, here's our turntable here at Shady Grove. We're going to do a little spin on that, run around the train again, and then we'll move on from there. You can see the damp steam from the air compressor come puffing through because it's kind of a medium temperature, so coal smoke's one temp, but when you get that wet exhaust from the pump, that's what they do. So
Yeah, at some point you should show the effect of the compressor on the fire from the fire view, because that was a new thing as well.
That's right. That is something that I'd hoped would have worked earlier, and then I kind of had to rework, and yeah, it does look really cool now. Oh, come on, sweetheart. Help me out. Yes, slip on the turntable. Make MOW love me that much. There we go. Okay. And we click the pole, and then we click where we want it to line up to, and it does the spin. And we can
this is still genuinely one of my favorite pieces of tech we've come up with.
Yeah, a turntable that doesn't suck. Yeah, as the pump drafts the fire, because it is plumbed through the smoke box, it does excite the whole fire. So if you end up charging the train for a long time, which is what we ran into a little bit earlier that killed my fire supremely earlier in the first part of the vlog. Don't go backwards, please. The pump was charging the train up, and I wasn't thinking about it, and it was drafting the fire a bunch, and that's what killed the fire the first time. Because everything is tied in. That's the fun challenge of this sim. If you know your locomotives, the hardest level of sim in this game is, I won't say it's like running the real thing, because I don't know if anything could ever compare to that. But it's pretty darn close. I've never gotten the feelings, the experiences from any other train game. Even some really good ones that I really genuinely enjoy. The feel's never been quite there, and I've tried to put as much of that in there as I can. The dumb little things, the Johnson bar squeeze, tinking different amounts based on how hard you're working the engine and where the valve gear is in its position, regardless of where you have the bar. You know, the injector, the fact that it leaks. Yeah, we should do that. All those things. You slide dog.
Monologuing.
You almost caught me monologuing. All those little things. The cylinder cocks being stupid and crappy and not truly sealing, and that not being evident when it's hot, but being very evident when it's cold. And then how all those things change across temperature. I mean, it is night and day operating steam at night and day, let alone, you know, across the temperature thing. Right now it's 73 Fahrenheit out, which is 26, 25, 26 Celsius-ish, which is kind of a medium-high temperature, and you're not getting a whole lot of the crazy steamy, plumy stuff. But earlier when it was stormy and it was colder, that had a huge impact, and those things impact your experience as an engineer a lot, and your visibility. It was the inspiration of that sort of thing exactly. That's actually what made me write the Steam Chest sim, was switching with my buddy Eric at the museum and having a super cold day out with 20 and not being able to see him and going, oh my god. Yeah, no, the cylinder cocks, they're shut, but still, and they're lapped well. You know, it's not like they're garbage valves or anything. It's just the way it be, and so you gotta learn to deal with that. So, anyways, in the immortal words of Patrick Star, kicking. I want to do some kicking. Come on, sweetie, get your feet under ya. It's probably pretty good. This is not going to cause any problems, I promise. Okay, bye trains. Oh. Catch the switch, Mark. Okay, well, that's where that load's gonna be. And that illustrates another feature that we didn't intend to show right here, right now. We just ran through that switch. We broke the switch stand. It's gonna have to be fixed now.
Hope you didn't want coal on this side of the railroad.
Nope. I guess I didn't. It's fine. The last test I did, I accidentally kicked those on through the turntable off that end, so Shady Grove doesn't deserve to have coal, apparently. We're just going to throw the keys in the dirt there, because this video is too long as it is.
Did both of them derail?
Only one of them.
I mean, if you can...
You can send the car to the shops and get rid of it if
That
you
is true. We could do that. Our re-rail tool is... still a slight work in progress, and I know it works extremely well on some cars and extremely poorly on specifically that car. So
80% of the time, it works all the time.
So, you know, we're not ready to show that because it does not work reliably. It works great on some stuff.
I mean, if we could send the one car to the shops and get the other one there, I think, you know, we got to make some money today.
We've made $331. Minus the blown up locomotive and the other car that we send to the shops. Shut up. It's fine. I'll kick this into place, and then we can think about doing something with that other car.
I mean, we're gonna need coal for the trip back too, right?
No, well, we should be fine. Last time when we ran both ends, we used about for the 12-mile journey.
Switch is good.
Probably shrug. Yeah, they're fine. Okay. For the journey the other way, we used something like a little bit more than half the tender. It was like almost 3,500 pounds. So we won't need to get coal here. It's gonna be a lighter load going the way back, and we're not going up the steep grade, and we shouldn't blow up screams. Somebody knock on wood for me. It's fine. Anyway, we got our industries popping up here. And we're going to get our Model B delivered, our special load. And then we can consider, you know, yeeting that other gone back to the shops. Come on, please. Okay, well, at least one truck's in the zone. As long as one truck's in the zone, you're fine. It's not going to look as thematically cool, but I didn't kick it hard enough, so there it be. And there it be. Look at that. That was a ton of cash. What was that, $3,500 almost? Special loads, man.
Made some money.
Made some money. Hey, look, we did it. We did the thing. We did the thing on the tin. And also that upper right UI is toggleable with tab. By the way, I don't think we've said that, so... if you want to have just perfect screenshots, you can have it. So let's get a little more fire put in this thing. You don't really need much as a switching fire, obviously, but we're almost done with the switching, so we'd like it to be finished up here. All right.
There, look at us. We're making money on the railroad. We only died once.
Don't count your chickens.
Yeah, we only died once
so far.
There you go.
We've had one death, yes, but what about second death? Screams. I think
just the one death, actually.
I'm inclined to just leave those guns there so we can keep rolling, I think. We've sent a car to the shops already. They know they can do that. It's fine. We'll show a re-rail tool eventually.
Tomorrow's shift can figure it out.
Yeah, day shift can figure it out, because I think we're firmly into second shift territory here. It's 3 p.m.
For those playing at home, it is currently 5:30 a.m. in the morning when we're filming
this. It is, yeah, 3:30 Colorado time. Okay, and the gasoline's gonna start disappearing. And okay, bye-bye. Bye, friend. Make us some more monies. Okay, and now it's time for the caboose hop back. Oh, I guess...
go ahead.
Sorry, I neglected to mention that there is programmatic echo depending on where you are on the map now. Which is specific to the regions and how close you are to the hills and the whole 9 yards. But it makes the vibe really cool.
Yeah, no, we got a light caboose hop back, and when we had said initially that we wanted to have everything loading instantaneously, you guys gave a lot of feedback and said, obviously you don't want it to be an unnecessarily painful wait, but maybe some kind of balance where you're not always just dropping off instantly and keeping a unit train together. So, we've been experimenting a bit. We have something where, now there's a little bit of a wait time, and every now and then you have to run light with an engine. And that's one of the sort of neat, more kind of pensive in-between moments of railroading. It's just doing the light caboose hop between jobs.
Yeah, so you and the gang can scream around the corners, and you can torture your brakeman and conductor by making them think
not
they're
having a good time back there.
making them think that they're gonna fly off every curve because we're doing 30, almost 27 mile an hour. It's fine. Also, one fun detail on the caboose while I'm thinking about it. Got it set up that the markers are programmatic, and they're set up with DNRGW late colors. So they've got amber lenses for every direction except the rear, which is red. And depending on what you have coupled in, as a single player, they just automatically set them. But if you got a conductor in your crew, then that'll be his job to get those set up properly. This thing will scoot if you don't have a ton of weight behind it. It really will.
Oh, easy work.
It's fine. We got places to be. You heard what time it is in the morning.
God,
Yeah, the squealing cares about the speed too, not just the curvature.
It does.
There's another game this always reminds me of called Iron Lung that just is really famous for really creepy, unsettling sound design, and just I tighten and clench every time I hear one of those squeals. Like, if you wanted to unnerve the player and tell them, hey, ease off a bit, you nailed it through sound design.
Man, I just recorded real train cars, so that's the real joy of that. So that's just how they sound sometimes. All right, please fall down in. There we go. Oh, all right. Hit boxes every time. Get that air cut out. Pull that away. Oh, that was the switch stand I was hoping to drop this on. Well, I guess we'll not do that then, shall we? How about we didn't? How about we didn't do that? Gotcha. Okay, there we are.
Cozy.
I love that caboose. Drew did such a good job of getting that caboose figured out.
It was fun to go and try and get that in the game, and with Dan's help, of course.
Dan's the man. He's always the biggest help, and yeah, I don't think we've shouted Dan out enough, particularly this vlog, because there was at least 15 different things I was like, hey Dan, by the way, on the choo-choo, could you do this? Because our poor friend here, the 1024, I mean, it really wasn't around for quite some time for a reason. It needed some model updates, and Dan did a fantastic job getting all that stuff set up. And
yeah, and Dan did a fantastic job helping me get the caboose set up in the game, which was very helpful because still new to this whole programming thing.
Yeah, but you made a gorgeous model of a caboose that is a normal caboose, despite the way it's lettered.
Oh no.
Oh wait, it's not a normal caboose. Sorry, Dan's gonna take exception to the description there. It's fine.
For context, we have a running discourse in the company.
What is a normal caboose?
And the answer is none of them.
Yeah.
Connect a train order door in the middle of the car.
With rare exception, almost every 3-foot caboose we have found, either through research or observation, has had some level of cursed to it.
Yeah.
Some more than others. Like the Rio Grande long caboose, they're pretty good. There's some
they
weirdness to
look
them.
like a normal caboose, but the factoid that Dan always gets you with is the trucks are not entirely under the body. They go underneath the platform extension, and that makes it not a normal caboose.
It's a little
Just a sawed-off
unusual.
car. It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's fine.
Granted, it's not as bad as I think it was some on the Quincy and Torch Lake were pretty egregious. There are a couple examples of actual quote-unquote normal caboose from 3-foot, though. The broad top ones look pretty normal, and
Yeah, they just look like trunk and northeastern caboose.
and the Nevada, California, Oregon ones look pretty good.
Let's see. Gotta get some brakes untied. I can smell the safety valve lifting from here. It's gonna happen. Let's see. We've got our produce loaded up here. And you can see actually that we actually told them to load too much. And so these cars are gonna take excessive wear because they are loaded beyond their capacity by not too super much. And you can also see that the ice that we loaded earlier in the vlog has ticked down to 91%. So we're still going to get the bonus. You're going to get the bonus with the iced modifier regardless. Even if you had 1% when you delivered it, as long as you got that, it will just work. We didn't want to make that too crazy or too much of a thing to think about, but you do need to ice the cars. So those are set and happy. So we can go grab the other set of guys off of track 2. And then we're going to have quite the reefer block on the way back to Keystone, with hopefully an easier run. And hopefully it doesn't become too dark. If it does, well, we got a headlight.
Knocking on wood again.
It's fine.
But yeah, this is two very different. I mean, between this and the logging run with the Shade, we have 3 very different flavors of freight ops so far. You have sort of your, specialized industry logging run. You had sort of a mixed kind of peddler freight coming up to Shady Grove, and now on the way back we have the hotshot reefer block. So a lot of different ways to run the railroad, a lot of different operational opportunities to experience. Like we said, every time you go over the road, it's something a little different. It was a slow switching out slog coming up, and now it's going to be a really quick trip home, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see how I do. Who knows? It's fine.
If anyone can do it, it's
fine.
you.
It's true. It's just hard to be a presenter and a fireman and an engineer all at the same time. And we knew this going in.
And a brakeman, and a conductor, and a freight agent.
It's true. These are a lot of things that they're all very possible for a single player, and that's also part of why they're going to be a difficulty setting, right? But we want to make sure every role's fleshed out. We want everyone to have their part on the railroad. Everyone needs to experience what their role's like. You shouldn't feel stupid as a conductor in Century of Steam. You shouldn't feel like you're sitting there and you're telling the engineer what to do, and hopefully you know what he needs to do. You don't need to be hopefully that experience will never happen like it does in other games sometimes. Every role is going to have activities and things that they need to do, and there'll be mini games and etc. that you can experience, so that it can be a fun and engaging experience for everyone on the crew, and not everyone has to be an engineer, because it's not just the glory of the engine. We love the thought and the feel and the sounds and the smoke and the everything. If I could pipe in smells to your PC, I would. It's not all just that stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff about the train and railroading in general that we hope comes across. Hope that you can experience all of that when you play the game. So
Well, it looks like the storm has passed. It's cleared up quite a bit here.
It has. We had our mid-morning afternoon storm here, and yeah, it's warmed up quite a bit and a fair bit nicer. Bang into the caboose, and then we're gonna start heading back to Keystone, and I've somehow managed to barely keep this thing off the safety valve, which is shrug. Not sure how, but got lucky, I guess.
And she's got water.
Presumably. That's something we probably need to add to a UI at some point. We built the UI before I made the water sim, and we've not revisited it yet. Remember, everything you see is always work in progress. There's always more to do, and there's always more that we want to do. We've got a defined scope. We know what we want the game to be, and it's all defined. It's just a matter of just making it. And I've, again, overcharged the air, and I'm just going to dump that real fast and then bring it back up. And that ought to be fine. All right, it's 4:30 p.m. everyone. Let's see if we can make it to Keystone before dinner. The fact that something is still tied down is going to tell me that that's going to be a no. We didn't clear the overcharge. What else is new? Alright, get all that coal fired there. Be fine. We got about a half glass. Still on the level, but we're going to be working it a little bit on the way up here, so get the gun running. I'll find it down even for the fun. Because we're going to be going down that 3.5% down in just a near little bit here, so. Nice and light, bright fire. I'm going to try and keep it that way and not slog it too hard. As soon as we throw the coal on, it'll smoke out the stack pretty dark right away, and then it'll lighten up as the coal starts to actually combust.
And take it easy around here. It's called No Shit Curve for a reason.
That is true. Doing 24 right now, the reefer block, even with everything being loaded. Still on the level, it starts to work its way up. You can see the grade through there across the bridge, so.
How much water you got left?
That's a fantastic question. There's plenty in the sight glass at the moment, which is, that sparks joy. We've tipped uphill though, so it could be lying to me. You can see just how much less I'm having to fire, more working the engine less hard. Keeping the bar higher up is really going to help you out on that. Save your firemen and save your coal supply. We have a ton of water still, so
great.
We shouldn't need to stop. So we filled up and then we went downhill and then we switched. So we weren't really dumping it in there yet. Passed our whistle for Lakeview there and said, nope, we ain't stopping. We're just going to keep plugging through here. Talked about the engines and the cars doing the dance and working around last month as well, but further refinements to that and the engine having harmonics that it smooths out through has been changed and modified, so as we get the engine running fast, you'll see it doesn't bob around like a crazy madman. As it slows down, it'll do it. Tons and tons of little details, both on the programmatic side as well as the the visual side and the art side. I mean, it's been a long time coming for everything here. This month's vlog is really everything kind of coming together in such a fantastically cool way. Obviously, we talked about the bugs, we talked about some of the other issues and things, and still track laying and still multiplayer things to come, so it's far from done, but it's so cool to feel how the game feels right now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of progress culminating in this as far as secondary gameplay. We talked about that a lot in the previous episode, where we talked about primary gameplay. What does it feel like to run the trains? That had a huge improvement this time around. Secondary gameplay, what kind of tasks do you do with the trains? That's really starting to flesh out now. And hopefully, once those two things are in a really good spot, we can start focusing on tertiary gameplay, which is why do you run the trains, and that'll be able to get more into the broader dynamic economy and scenarios and all that good stuff we've talked about in sort of our theory episodes, because we want to keep you guys informed as far as like sort of what we're working towards, and those kind of like dev philosophy and game design components I think are a really good way to sort of give you some foresight to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know that the more Q&A and longer form vlogs that are not as cool as showing all of this off, we see that the views are not quite the same, and that's understandable and fine, but there's a lot of good information that we try and parse out and put out in those, because there's so much to say and so much to understand about what we want out of this game and what the experience is going to be. It's going to be like anything else. We've all dreamt of this game and what it might be long before we ever started making it. And it's going to be something really special, and we're very excited for everyone to get their hands on it down the road. But it's got to be to the right point in its cycle, and it's got to have all the things, because we don't want to toss out some garbage that just doesn't do the thing out your way, So it's really important to us. Checking my fire here. Nothing's crazy low. Pressure's a little low, so we'll take a couple scoops on. The water's sky high still, especially considering we're aimed downhill at the moment. And she's just having a nice easy time of it downhill. Curves biting me just enough.
The irony of nearly stalling at the same spot.
Yeah. Working steam where I stalled going the other way. All in the same day, all in one day on the railroad. Which, without commentary, in testing, it was, routinely about 2.5 hours to get everything all said and done on the railroad that day. Oh, and that water's out of the glass. You could pick a better time to not be a pain in the butt, Mr. Injector. Come on. Okay, fireman side.
That's why you have two.
That is why you have two. Okay, anyone else's pants brown? Just mine? Okay. Okay. And we were
something very familiar about all
we were in a low spot in the track because it's come back up to 3/4 glass, but briefly seeing it, knowing I didn't lay this track, I don't know exactly where the grade transitions are. Well, that's enough to...
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I laid this track and I don't know where the grade transition is either.
It's fine. Okay. Now that I need a new pair of pants for the second or third time this episode.
Just climb the hill climber.
Just do the thing. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah, we're gonna put some coal in here. We're gonna work against it. We're almost off the hill. Got one more pickup to make. You can see how fun the height changes across the railroad are down here. Is that gun just pissed? It is. Alright. So if you bump it, and then go back to prime, just do a little bump. Bump into run, go to prime. It's not great for the gun internals, but bump it to run, go to prime. Bump it to run, go to prime. This gun is just mad. Hey, there we go. I didn't have the water valve open all the way. It was part of the problem.
You gotta trim it down too much.
Yeah, if you don't have the water valves open when you're trying to start it, like, they will not like you. The injectors don't like humans in general, but extra so in this case.
The first train being like a mini boss.
It's fine. Alright, we're coming back into Coalfield here. Hopefully our refrigerator car that we spotted out at the creamery earlier is all loaded and ready for us. I'm gonna shut her down here. Doesn't look like anything's too crazy there. We could shut the gun off.
Oh, don't tell me you're gonna try a Dutch drop here.
I didn't leave myself a whole lot of space to try that, but we could try one if you want. What do you think, viewers?
I want to go home.
Justin's like, it's bedtime. What do you mean you're gonna try a Dutch drop? What I'm gonna try is I'm gonna forget to tie a handbrake, and yeah, every time. I've done it once in testing. It's fine. Nothing will happen.
You know what would help you in this situation? And Justin Rosniak of Well There's Your Problem would tell you the same thing.
What?
Polling.
You know, we do need to update polling. We showed it obviously in the trailer, and that was a legitimate actual physics thing that did what it did on the tin. It's not, that wasn't faked or cinema or anything, but we need to get it set up so that you've got a UI and you can click on the things and the stuff, and it makes an amount of sense. And the amount of logic there, it's not a huge amount of logic, but that's something that, you know we want to have. It's just not hugely critical part of the gameplay cycle, as it were. So it's been backburnered very far, and with Jake firmly working on all of the multiplayer things, our genius who developed most of our physics and polling and coupler codes and much more, wonderful human. You know, he's focused on getting multiplayer working, so we think that's probably a better use of everyone's time than getting polling working. But yeah, we do need to get that updated as well. Okay, we've got our cheese. Cheese is your friend, and exotic butters, with again some things that needed to be updated that we missed on setup. That's my bad. Anyway, this is a spendy car though. Look at that. Look at all those dollars. That's gonna be fun. So don't blow it up.
Don't blow it up.
Roger. Okay. We're gonna try this real fast, and we're gonna do this not from the engine. We're gonna do it from the car on the ladder.
Floor it?
Floor it? Not yet.
Floor
Okay.
it. Floor it.
Now floor it. Oh, ain't no way that's working. No.
Yeah,
We are not getting past that at all. Okay, fine. Well, once again, We tried. We gave it an honest shot. And you know what? We'll just do what we did during every other test. And that is destroy the car with a hard knuckle. 81%. That's not the end of the world. Okay. We're going to kick it into the siding and then run around it quite violently. Here we go.
Oh, that's equally fun.
Let it go. Take a quick look. Make sure nothing's like totally killed in here. Which some of it is getting down there. And then line the switch and then burn the jets. Sayonara, suckers! Light engine. Sometimes it doesn't feel like a steam engine will get up and go, but when you're not pulling anything, got good adhesion. They do tend to get up there. Okay, switch lines. Hitting the handbrake. Bar in reverse. A little bit of steam. Probably make sure my coupler's open. Tis cool. We did not really kick that quite quickly, did we?
Safety officer approved.
Pretty much. You kicked cars? How could you?
Oh, easy there, Hoss.
Bang.
Good hitch stretching.
Alright, got 106 pounds on the gauge. We'd like to be a little closer to 130. Anytime you slip, it's pretty rude to the fire. And you really got to balance the fire and how hard the engine's working, so. And the base. God, I'm not working it hard enough to clear that quite yet.
And the water?
And the water, yeah. Well, we got a whole glass of that.
Great.
You got plenty of water. You don't use much while you're switching. The only reason I was firing the heck out of it earlier was I know I'm gonna be pulling the sticks to full and getting us back to Keystone by time for a late dinner at this point, 6:35 p.m. We're not catching happy hour at the saloon, but we might still, you know, get in time to eat at the mess hall here. So, okay, here we go. Turns fire into dust. Oh, that's right.
You got a brake tied down?
Yep, shut up. Come on, sweetie. Let's go.
There she goes.
Probably overcharged, too. It's fine.
Well, let's see if we can get it tucked in before bed.
We might. Here we go. We got our reefer block. Should be all set. It's just a matter of me not messing it up on the way back. And we're lined out, so there's very few switches left to get in my way. And 2/3 glass, 3/4 glass. It's pretty happy. We'll start running the gun though. We'll fine it down. We're working it hard, but we're not working it near as hard as we were earlier with more train and more hill and all that stuff. Oh, I suppose another thing to think about is that cold air being drawn in the fire is new this month. Actually, the whole coal firing sim was not quite thrown out the door and redone, but mostly. Wanted to show it off and make sure we could play with a bigger zone and bigger fire at the 280, and it involved a lot of work. And Goose, Tyler, one of our devs who's our thermo expert, was extremely helpful in getting that done with me, so it's very much appreciated. Well, the sun's just trying to disappear beyond the mountain over there, so we're almost to sundown here.
About 7 o'clock will be 2 hours. I think sunset is around between 7:30 and 8 this time. So it's really close. You might be putting her away. This is the sun's coming out, actually. Yeah, it's a full day on the road.
Sorry, Tom, you sounded like a 1024 blasting through a tunnel with the throttle wide open. Yes, a full day on the road indeed.
I get that a lot. That is genuinely something that comes up in testing. If we're trying to relay information to each other, we kind of have to yell over the road sometimes.
Curve transition wasn't that bad. I really do love this part of Keystone, and we're getting to it in such a fantastic light. This this man-made kind of dam-inspired swamp delta something. I don't know what the proper word is, but it's just a vibe, and seeing the train run through here, it's just cool. Of course we're gonna have the 4 maps we talked about, but seeing the train on Keystone, this vibe, it's just cool. See the sound delay there. See my lack of fire there. Perhaps we'll shut the throttle. What a neat idea.
I'm almost going to take her off the roads now. What a view.
Spectacular, isn't it?
Homeward bound. Got a train full of money to unload the depot. It's been a good day. It's been an interesting day. Some not so good things have happened. We did die.
in one universe, we did die. Yes.
Yes, in a parallel universe, we did die, but we lived.
I got better.